Hello, everyone. Welcome to Small Biz Tips. Guys, I am excited. So, a few weeks ago, I was on Facebook and I got this message from this guy, and I was like, okay, who is this? But when we start having a conversation, I'm like, oh, okay, I like this guy. And then we jump on like a Loom video. He starts sharing what he's doing. I'm like, wow, I gotta bring him here today. So I am excited to bring to you guys a really good colleague of mine. His name is Craig. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Thank you again for jumping on. Really appreciate you jumping on today. Um, Before I even go into all the crazy cool things you're doing with automation on social media, who is Craig?
Oh, Craig is been doing digital marketing since 1995, so I've been around a while.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
before the internet.
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. One of my first jobs was setting up a a franchise from Switzerland. This guy bought it, and it basically was modems, and I had to learn, like, it was even before Netscape, so it was like,
Wow.
been doing this stuff forever.
You go way back. So
Yeah.
how'd you get into that? Like, why does the guy from Switzerland
So I
come
was
to
working. So I was working at Costco in the tech center. I've always been into tech, stuff. And this guy kept coming around, and I'd be helping him. And he was like, "Hey, how'd you like to work for me and not Costco?" And I was like, "Sure." And so that's kind of how it started,
I love it.
working with him. And then, yeah, moved to other, like, I built my own software. I've had my own, hosting, web design companies, and just anything technology has been my thing.
It's interesting. You said like you built your own software, had your own web design company. It seems like as the time changes, you're changing with the time and you keep staying relevant,
Exactly.
right? Because
Exactly.
1995, that's like back then I was in Haiti. So seeing
Yeah.
how you were able to do that, that's pretty amazing. So tell me
Yeah.
more, right, about what you got going on now. Fast forward, right? Bots guy, what exactly is that?
hmm So about 6 years ago, so I've always been, when Facebook first introduced business pages, I got
Mm-hmm.
into that, and I was doing a lot of things there. And then when they announced the ability to do this messaging automation,
Mm-hmm.
chatbots basically on Facebook, about 6 years ago, I, kind of started dabbling in that, and I was like, man, this is amazing. Like, this is the coolest thing. I just fell in love with that technology. And so I just started, learning everything I could, going, there basically Facebook opened up their API for software companies to integrate with them. So there was like ManyChat, Mobile Monkey, a couple others. So I just started using those and building with those, and eventually stopped doing everything else, because I was like, you know what, I just want to be the best at this one thing. Like,
Mm,
I don't want to do all, it's hard keeping up with web design and all,
yeah.
all the things. Let me just focus on this one thing. And I got connected with a guy named Larry Kim, who
Mm-hmm.
owns Mobile Monkey. And I originally, I built all his original stuff, did his consulting. I work with them today still. And just, yeah, so I'm the bots guy. So that's all I
So
do.
I want to go back a little bit, right? Because you said when Facebook opened up their DM automation, a lot of
Mhm.
people may not notice. There's a lot of business that may not notice, right? Sometimes when you send somebody a DM, you think that's the person responding, but it's actually a robot that you've set up. Is that correct?
100%.
So,
Now, we try not to make it that way because, obviously robots make mistakes, they can get tripped up, and you don't want to try to act like you're
mhm.
that real person responding. But what you want to do is use your own voice. So it's your
Yeah.
kind of voice, but they still kind of know, that it's an automation.
Yeah, it's kind of like another assistant that's in their DM.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's a lot of people that will name their bots, this is Craig bot, or this is my automated assistant, or they'll have, characters for them. So there's a lot of different ways, but yeah, definitely don't want to try to make it like it's you.
Well, let's go deeper, right? Because if somebody's doing that, they're doing that for a couple of reasons. One, it's a marketing tool, right? And another one, it helps with processes and help them be more efficient. So tell us two examples. How would somebody use something like that as a marketing tool for their business? And then how would they use it in terms of being more efficient, especially if they're maybe an influencer or they're growing their following, they're getting hundreds of DMs, which is
Mhm.
sometimes very hard to keep up with.
100%. So, first, so this started, in Facebook, 6 years it's been going. Instagram, which is the most amazing engagement platform, it's only been on Instagram for a year and a half.
Mm,
So a lot of people don't even realize they can do this. So like you mentioned, influencers are getting tons of DMs, and they have even VAs trying to
yeah,
respond. It's very difficult. And even Instagram's app, that you've got to
yeah.
reply, it's not good. You can't filter it has a weak filtering system, and it's just
Mm-hmm,
hard to manage that. So with DM automation, you literally have, for example, ManyChat, they have a dashboard, and everyone
mm-hmm,
that DMs you, you can tag them, you can, segment them, and then you can go in and search based on those tags. It's just a much
mm,
easier way to manage, all your DMs. And again, it's 24/7 responding. So you could have 10 people hitting your story, 20 people DMing
yeah.
you, people tagging you. And then based on these conversations that we have set up, when people do that, boom, they're all responded to at the same time.
Wow. So think of if you're like maybe you're an introvert or you get overwhelmed easily, and you're doing some good marketing. Let's say you put a post out and that post went crazy, and now you're getting all these people that are reaching out to you. It
Mm-hmm.
can take a lot of time to get back to people,
A
and sometimes you
lot
might
of
miss a few, but
a
this saves
lot
you.
of time. Yeah. So I don't know. Do you remember Clubhouse? Were you ever part of
Yes,
Clubhouse? Okay, so
yes.
when Clubhouse first came out, um everyone was, you'd go up there and be like, hey, DM me to get my free this or whatever, and they're
Uh-huh.
getting hundreds and hundreds of DMs. And I'd talk to people and they're like, yeah, I'm sending the link manually to all these people. And at the time Instagram was in beta,
Yeah.
so i I told Larry, who was the owner, I'm like, you need to get in here in Clubhouse because they need your software.
Mm.
So he got in, we started, showing people how it works, and it went crazy on Clubhouse because people were just like, wow, I don't have to do anything anymore. Just drop a link
It's
and boom,
done.
it goes out.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
saves a
Now,
ton of time. On Instagram, especially right now, the big thing with Instagram is you
yeah.
have a link in bio, right? Everybody has a
Mhm.
link in bio, the link in bio. But that is when they click on that, they're off the platform. You don't know who they are. You can't follow up with them. You
Mhm.
can't do anything. But with DM automation, every piece of content that you do, a story, a reel, a
Yeah.
post, go live, all of those can trigger an automation at any time you want it to happen. So let's say
Wow.
you're talking about a webinar that's coming up. You can be
Yeah.
like, comment webinar below, and boom, it sends a message in the DM, ask for their email, ask for their phone number, zaps that information, they're signed up right there.
That's
Like,
amazing.
yeah.
So I want people to really picture this, right? Let's say you do
Mm-hmm.
webinars, and this is what I'm
Yep.
understanding from this. You're doing webinars every week, and you're doing
Mm-hmm.
about 4 or 5 posts talking about, hey, text or comment webinar, and then we'll reach back out to you.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of them, just commenting webinar and go and click on that link and trying to sign up, once they comment on webinar, the system just automatically start working.
Yep.
Wow. That
And
is
it's
extremely
building a
powerful.
list. You're building a list like freebies, ebooks.
Yeah.
You can ask them for their email in the DM. So you're building a list, which you can't do without automation.
Yeah, that is huge. Because you think about it,
Huge.
if you're able to bring in and drive a lot of people to you, you can create a bigger list faster,
Yeah.
bring in more opportunities for more sales.
100%.
Wow.
It increases engagement, it increases your sales, it increases the, gives you the chance to build your list.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that comes into the DMs, you have 24 hours to automatically follow up with them. So
Yeah.
you can check, hey, for here, now this is a new feature and it's in beta and most of my clients get access to it. And it's called DM lists. So
Okay.
what it allows you to do is build a list of DMs inside, Instagram that you can broadcast to for 6 months, up to 6 months. So it's great for webinars, for challenges. So let's
Yes.
think of the webinar example. They sign up for the webinar, then they get a DM that's like, hey, if you want to be notified, just click this button. Boom, they now have subscribed. And now you can notify them in the DMs. The webinar's coming up. Here's this, that, and the other.
Save you a
So,
lot of time from getting other tools, like, because you got to get email, you got to get text, and that could be a lot, especially if you're just
exactly.
starting out and you really just want to get your products out there and get people to it quickly. This allows you to do that from
Yep.
what I'm listening.
Yep. And you don't, and a lot of times, you don't
Mhm.
even need a landing page. Like you can do it
Mm.
all in the DMs.
Wow.
You
So
can do
if you,
voice, you can do video. I mean, you can make it really, images, you can make it super engaging. Yeah, it's really your imagination of with, what you want that conversation to be.
now, would you suggest, if you are a beginner entrepreneur, right? Because we have all type of entrepreneur to listen to this podcast. If you're just starting out, you've been in business for less than, let's say, less than a year, and
Mhm.
you just thinking about, okay, I need to ramp up, and you just start putting out posts, would you suggest that is a system that should definitely get set up? Because, now they're able to automate and really just
Mhm.
focus on putting out content instead of trying to follow up with people.
Exactly. Now here's the other thing. So think of
Yeah.
this. A link in bio, again, it gets low engagement,
Huh?
can't follow up. A sticker link gets only 3.4% of people click on that. Super low. Guess
Yeah.
how much percent a click in a DM gets?
20.
80%.
What? That's like almost like text messaging.
Exactly. Because it's so easy. I mean, they don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
Nah, this
So
is
it's so easy.
gold.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about your business, because I don't know too many people that do what you're doing. Right. So the DM automation, right? Who are some of the clients you work with? What has been some of the success story from working with you?
So really most of my clients, they are doing well on Instagram. They're doing post content, they're getting a ton of engagement.
Mm-hmm.
I have this is a big one. So for like Gloria Mayfield Banks, the #1 Mary Kay producer for 30 years, out of like 3.2 million women.
Mm.
She goes live all the time. All the time she goes live. And before she met me, she would just, hey, go to this link or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, when you go live, have them comment a keyword, bring them into a flow, and then send them to the affiliate link. So now you're building a list and you're getting people, you're not just giving your audience away.
Yeah. You're
She
doing two
goes
things
live
at once.
every day she goes live and she gets hundreds of new people to her list every time
Mm.
with
Wow.
nothing.
That saves
Another
you an ad
client,
cost too.
yeah, yeah. Nehemiah Davis, he does a lot. He does, webinars and master classes and
Yeah.
ebook, like he's got all the things. And so he's built, I mean, his list, thousands of people, every week because they're just all commenting and posting, they're engaging with all the
Yeah.
different things. One thing he did was so smart. He was here in Phoenix. I'm in Phoenix, Arizona for the Super Bowl, and
Mm-hmm.
he was on the front row. So he's just going live, like this is everyone's like, oh, this is amazing. And at the bottom, it's like comment 20. And it
Oh
didn't
my
really say what
God.
it was. So comment 20, and then people are getting his event masterclass invites. So you can even do it where you're not even really promoting it.
No, this is smart. I love it.
Yeah.
I think because you think about it, right? A lot of people say, well, they want to build their personal brand. They're looking at, ads, which is one way to grow. But if you turn off the ads, everything stops. While that DM automation, you have your live, you're going live on Instagram. Let's say your audience is on live, right? And you're doing
Mhm.
your stories and you're doing that consistently. You
Exactly.
consistently building that brand. And all that is you putting out the effort of just marketing yourself, putting out content that people want to see. And you might have a small following in the beginning, but by being consistent, that following is going to keep growing. So would you suggest somebody need to have 1,000 followers for them to look into this, or it doesn't matter?
I mean, it really doesn't matter because if you think about what I told you, 80% people click in a DM. So why are you going to send people to a lower engaging thing? Even if you have a small audience, you want to get as
Yeah,
much exposure as possible. So you might as well start using it, now versus when you get a huge, when you actually need it. It's better to start, even with 1,000 followers, it still makes sense.
I love it. Now you pair that up with using ChatGPT to help you put out content, you have a marketing machine.
Yeah, I use Chat GPT for so many things. I'll use it, like I'll build out my conversations and then I'll put them in there and have different ideas, give me some different ideas or versions or add emojis to this. Like Chat GPT is amazing.
So
And
get
we even have ManyChat.
uh-huh.
I'm working with another company where they're integrating Chat GPT into it.
Mm,
So we'll be able to actually have kind of both hybrids. So Chat
wow.
GPT will kind of do the interaction, and then when it's ready to send to an actual offer, boom, it'll send it over there. So that's kind of like the next phase that's
Okay.
coming.
So how long does it normally take you to build that system for somebody?
I mean, it really depends on how many offers you have, and if you want so you can do just like a simple, keyword, all the different triggers to a
Mhm.
conversation, which is kind of a basic thing, and a link. Like you could do it that basic, or you could do it where you're doing, we have you can put pixels on your landing pages to see where things are converting
Mm,
and talk back and forth and split test different messaging. Like it can get
yes.
super detailed, pushing data to, through Zapier to your different CRMs, all that kind of stuff. So it can really start basic, but it can get really, advanced, as advanced really as you need it to be. So
Now,
like for me, I'm kind of like, I call myself a conversational architect. So
okay.
I will analyze my clients' funnels and offers and see, the things they're doing. And then I will take that and I will turn it
Mhm.
into these conversations that are engaging and get them to do more of the things that they're trying to do.
Nice.
So the more I work with clients, the more I learn. So I can be like, hey, we're going to be doing this thing. And then I'll have an idea like, oh, let's do this because this we can do this and this. So I feed off of what my clients are doing, and the more I know what they're doing, the more I can, help them, with the automations.
So when somebody work with you, how does that structure? Is it like a one-time fee, or is it more like it's set up where it's a recurring fee because you got to maintain these things? I'm assuming sometimes it work and sometimes there's bugs. So you kind of like on call, or do you have a team? Trying to understand your business
Yeah.
by size.
Yeah. So I have a small team and I have people from all different ranges. I have a person, let's say a client is like, hey, I've got a webinar, and that's all I do. I just do webinars. So I build that out for them, and it's kind of like a one-time thing, and they're good to
Gotcha.
go. And they might reach out to me and be like, hey, I want to do this new thing, like
Mm-hmm.
that. Then I have people like Nehemiah who are constantly changing and updating and doing,
Yeah.
and so that's more of a retainer, where I'm just I'm in a Slack group, I'm part of the team
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I
Got.
actually have a training program, for people that just either they want their VA to do it or they want to
Mhm.
learn it themselves. I built out, a webinar template, a lead mag, all the different things with videos on how to do all of those things.
Yeah.
So it varies.
I love it. I love it. So if you, because you've worked with a lot of different entrepreneurs, you work with a lot of influencers, what is
Mhm.
that one small biz tips you would share with any entrepreneurs who's listening to this right now and be like, oh my God, this sounds like a lifesaver. This can really help take my business to a new level. What would you suggest? What's that one small tip that you would suggest to them? I mean, you've been entrepreneurs for like more than 20 years. So.
I mean, when it comes to automation and not just chat automation,
Yeah.
you really need to have entire automation. So social, is kind of like the top of the funnel. You get your leads in there, you do your thing, but then take that data, because you don't own that data. Like
Yeah.
Facebook owns that, and get it onto your own CRM, and then
Mhm.
do the nurturing and all of that. So use this to build your actual list that you own. No one can take it from you. No one can change anything. I've been burnt a few times by Facebook because I've
Mhm.
built something on their platform and they're like, oh, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah,
So
that's a good
you're
point.
on rented space.
So use the rented space for the time you have it to build something big. Wow, this was
Exactly.
phenomenal, man. Craig, how do people get in touch with you, man? If they want to do something like this, they want to work with you, how do they find you?
So I'm bots guy everywhere, mainly Instagram, BOTS guy.
Mhm.
And I've actually got a free training that I'm about done. And if you guys want it, go to bots guy and DM me, Jewel Burt, and I'll send you the information. So
Sounds
I
good.
live what I do. Like I preach, I do it.
I
So
love it. I love
yeah.
it. You hear him. If you need, he has a free training. Just DM him on Bots Guy. My name is Gilbert, and guess what? You're gonna get that free training, so you can, start getting this DM automation set up, which we're gonna save you time, save you money, and help you build a list that's gonna make you more money. So this was our small biz tip podcast for today. Craig, thank you so much for jumping on, brother. This was amazing, sharing all these gems with people. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Cheers.